souls! I'm Valeria Maritza at Healing Through You. I am an infinite being of light, and so are you. You may be wondering, why do I always start like this? And it is because you are an infinite being of light, and the more you listen to it, the more you begin to believe it. This has been one of the hardest concepts to understand or to wrap your mind around it, because we have been told since childhood that we are separate from the divine, that we are different, that there's something so beautiful and big and powerful out there somewhere, wherever it is that you have been taught, and that we are this minute, insignificant human here, separate from all of the magic that the divine has, when in truth you are part of the divine. And I know a lot of people have problems understanding this, or I don't want to say problems, actually. It's just they're not there yet. They're not able to comprehend this, might even disagree with me, and that's okay. But for those of you who are listening and who are here, the reason that I start like this is because, number one, I was taught to do this. I was shown to do this, I should say, by my guides, so that I can help you get into the higher frequency of who you are, connecting to your higher self and your best possible timeline in the moment as you're listening. And so that's why I say it. I'm going to say it every single time, and just wanted to put that out there for you. Okay, next thing I wanted to tell you is today I have been called to talk to you about making more connections with your higher self, with the divine, with God, with the angels, with your spirit guide, with your guardian angel, whomever it is that you work with, you believe in, that you want to connect with. Make more connections and become more aware of them, because you are always, cannot stress this enough, connected to them. And they're always here for you, or there for you, wherever it is that you are. As soon as you call upon them, they're there, right next to you, whomever it is, right? You call on to God, your angels, your guides for help. And right there in that second, you don't even have to finish your sentence, even if it's in a thought, and they're already there. They already hear your calling, hear your prayer, hear your allowing them to come over and help you, and they show up, and they do deliver. And what I wanted to tell you is that they are around you all the time, that you're receiving the messages all the time. And a lot of us are just not aware of that. And we're not aware that we are connected and that we are receiving. We put labels on everything. We put labels like, oh, I just made that up. Oh, that was just a thought. Things like that, right? When in fact, when you get a message or like an exciting idea or something that is like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. I came up with that. I thought of that. Yes, you did. But you thought it, you got the idea, you received the message, because you allowed yourself to receive it from your higher self, from your guides, from God, from the angels, from whomever it is that you are connecting with. And so a lot of people, because this is what I do, right? I help people connect with their higher selves, expand their gifts if they're already using them, or develop their gifts if they have no idea what they're able to do. And what I do is I do exactly this. I bring attention to what they are already doing, to the parts that they are already connecting, that they have labeled as, I made that up, I just thought of it, it's in my head, it wasn't, blah, 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 when in fact it was. And so that is the difference. The difference is in realizing that those thoughts, those ideas, those feelings are actually your guides, or God, or the angels, right? You fill in the blank of whatever it is that you work with. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is or who it is. It's all the same, because we're all one and all connected by the one creator. No matter what religion you are, no matter what country you live in, no matter what your background is, it is all one. And so once you begin to put those connections together, right? I had a wonderful, amazing, incredible virtual retreat yesterday. I am still high on the vibe and the vibration of this container. And this one client that was in it said, I felt like my mom came to visit me and we had this exchange, and she went to explain the exchange, and it was beautiful. And as she's saying this, her mom's energy is like right there with me, and she's nodding and she's going, yep, that was me. And let her know that it was me, because she kept talking about it as, oh, I thought about this and it was so beautiful. It would have been so nice if it had been. Meanwhile, it was, but she was not recognizing it as what it was. That she had actually made a connection. That her mom's energy was actually there with her, and that she actually experienced the beautiful experience that she had. She was putting it out as, I made this up in my mind, and what a beautiful thought to have had, right? Which is how we tend to label things and categorize things, because the thought that we are able to connect with other beings that we cannot see, with other energies that are not human form in front of us, it's kind of abstract and out there, and sometimes even scary for us. And so once she finished sharing, I told her, it was your mom. Your mom's here. She's confirming, right? And she just completely melted, tears, right? The whole thing, because it was the confirmation that she needed to allow herself to believe that what she felt and saw and experienced was real. How does she get this confirmation? Is because I'm hearing her mom telling me, tell her, and I'm doing that, and in doing that, she feels it, right? How do you know if someone is lying to you, right? I know, because I'm a skeptic too. So if you're a skeptic and you're here, you're thinking, yeah, right, well, you just said that and then blah, 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 whatever. How do you know if you encounter someone who's not actually hearing the person and telling you that they are? The difference is in how it feels on your body. Your body, your actual body, three-dimensional body, holds the energy. Instantly in your body when something is true for you or if it's false. You know if it's good for you or if it's not good for you. This is why when you're walking down the street and you see somebody at the end of the street coming towards you, and you get a feeling like, oh, I don't know if I want to walk by this person. Perhaps I want to cross the street or turn the corner before I get to this person. That's your intuition, that gut feeling that says, maybe I should not cross this area and go somewhere else. That's your higher self. That's you knowing that you need to go somewhere else. It's your warning, don't go through this person or don't go by this area, right? That is your intuition, your gut feeling. It's the same thing. You felt that in your body. You get this contraction in your body that says, ooh, don't feel like I want to go that way, right? You feel it in your body. And so when someone gives you a confirmation about something like the experience that this lady had yesterday, you feel light and loved. You feel happy, light, loved. You feel all of those high frequency feelings of bliss and being supported and all of that stuff. If somebody's lying to you, your body instantly knows. And instead of having those feelings of oh my gosh, it's amazing, and I'm so thankful for this confirmation, you get first a contraction in your chest, in your heart, in your gut. You get a contraction first of did they really? And then your ego comes in if you really want to believe, and then you begin to feel the feelings oh, that's great, whatever, and then you feel happy. But the very first is not even half a second, as soon as anything shows up in your life that you receive the message from the person or from, spirit. If it makes you feel constricted, I should say, instead of expansive and light, then it's not true. So if a person is telling you something, if you are in a reading and someone's telling you something and it doesn't feel good to you, if it feels not true, if it feels heavy, if it feels like I don't like that, it's not true for you. And it's coming from their ego. It's coming from their ego part. And if it's you talking to yourself, if you're connecting with your guides or your crossed over loved ones, and it's criticizing you or it's giving you something that doesn't feel good and it's making you feel small, that's also your ego. You wanting to connect so badly, but you're bringing in the energy from your human mind as like, this is what I think they would say to me. Like, let's say you grew up in a family where you were always criticized. Let's say you had like a parent or a family member that was always criticizing you and always putting you down and always taking your energy away, right? And then they cross over and you bring their energy over. And then that energy is telling you some of the same things and it's making you feel once again small and sad and you know, all of those feelings that are very low frequencies. That's not them. That's your ego. Because when we cross over, when we leave our human body and we go into spirit, we leave all of those human parts that allow us to be mean and angry and hurtful to others. When we cross over and we go into spirit, we become pure love. We become what we were, what we are truly from the beginning, true pure love, where you can see everything and everyone from a different perspective, where you are able to really look at things from the Creator's eyes, where you are all loving, all accepting, and you can see the bigger picture. And so a lot of times when I connect with a family member who was not very kind to my client, they're coming through with loving words and eyes. They're coming through with apologies. They're coming through with acceptance. They're coming through with holding love and giving that human that I have in front of me all the things they didn't get here in the physical world. They never come the same way that they treated us in the physical world. If you're receiving a message like that, if you're doing your own work and you're working on connecting and you're receiving the energy in the same way, that is not them. That is your ego putting your human thoughts and ideas onto the person that you are trying to connect with. And so I think I got a little bit off course here again. This happens to me more and more as Spirit speaks with me and I have an agenda like, okay, this was going to happen. You're telling me to talk about this, and then I'm just channeling and the words are just flowing through me and they're just taking me where they're taking me, and here's the message. All right. Just wanted to share that with you. The other thing that I wanted to bring up to your awareness right now is that every single thing that happens in your life, the synchronicities, the repeating numbers, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 5, 5, 5, whatever it is that you're watching and seeing all the time, the synchronicities of like, I felt like going to the store, and when I went there, I saw this best friend of mine that I hadn't seen in years, and what a great surprise. Or I was just talking about this and now my client comes over and they mention what I was just talking about. Actually, this happens to me all the time as well. I saw this video. It was a little girl sitting by the shore where the waves were kind of like really calm, like not the big hard waves. And she's just sitting there in the water and it's coming up to, just her legs area. And she's just like sitting there like in the zen. And there's people around her playing, walking, doing all the things, and somebody's videotaping her. And what starts to happen is that this little fish, they're about, 3 inches long, begin to swim. They get to her and they begin to swim around her. And more come and more come. And then there's like this really kind of like thick row of fish swimming in a circle around her. And then the video says something about this is what happens when you are connected, when you are in one with everything, when you're just being and you're not having any type of limitations to who you are. And it was such a beautiful video. And I saw this, and then the next day, I have a client and she's talking about this, and this video pops up in my session to share with her, and it was exactly what she needed to hear, exactly made sense with what was going on in her life, exactly confirming what we were talking about. It was amazing. These types of synchronicities or things that happen are not random. They're not coincidences. They're actual messages. I'm being prepared by being shown a specific thing, reading a specific thing, hearing a specific thing that they know, my guides know, I'm going to need or will be able to use on my next session with my next client. This happens all the time. I mean, it's to the point that now I just stopped saying it, because I was like saying every single time, oh my gosh, I just saw this yesterday. Oh my gosh, I just heard about this yesterday. It was like every single time I had a client and we're going through something, and something like this will drop. So now I'm like, just stop saying that, because I'm like, okay, I don't know if people are getting like tired of it or not. I mean, I don't really care, but it's like, it's so often that it's just incredibly nourishing to me, to my soul, because it's confirmation time after time that my guides are here with me, that they're guiding me, that they're helping me, that they're giving me these messages that I can then use in my healings. And this is not just about me, it's about you too. It's about the messages that you are receiving that are helping you in your life. So begin to acknowledge these things. When you see something happen, let's say you're going somewhere and then there's a roadblock and you need to go the other way, and it takes you a little bit off course and you get a little bit there late, but then you find out there was an accident on the other road that happened, like around the time that you were supposed to be there. Or maybe you find out that the store was closed if you had been there on time, but the person who was supposed to open the store got there late, and because you got there at the right time when it was open, you didn't have to wait, right? Things like this happen all the time. We just don't know it. We don't know all of the work that our guides are doing behind the scenes for us. But when you begin to take notice and acknowledge these little things, when you're like, oh, 111, like my son and I do this all the time now. We see 1111, oh my gosh, 1111, angel number, and we know and we invoke that the angels are with us, right? That we are supported. And it's an amazing feeling to feel that level of support and love. And you have this all the time as well. It's just that you're naming it by a different name. You are naming it, I thought it up, I made it up, it was in my thoughts, I dreamt it, it didn't happen. Those are the labels you're giving these little miracles that are happening in your life every day. So begin to acknowledge and realize that there are no coincidences, that things don't just happen, that all of these things that are happening for you are your guides communicating with you. Oh, and here's the other big one that I really needed to talk to you about, is the messages come to each one of us differently. And this is another huge topic. And actually, maybe I should just stop this, and I'm going to do that. I'm going to stop this podcast because I don't like making them much longer than what this already is. And I'm going to make my next one about what I'm going to talk about receiving messages in different ways. So, okay, on that note, guys, I love you so much. I'm sending you so much love, so much support. I love you so much. I hope that these messages are helping you. Take what you like, leave what you don't. Like the podcast, rate the podcast, and subscribe if you already haven't, and share so other people can hear the messages that are coming through for them. I love you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.